Oh my goodness. Do you know what time I went to bed last night?
8:45.
Even better. I went to bed at 7:15.
Oh my God.
I was so tired because I had been up really early and halfway through the day. This is a stressful week for me in general because I work in college admissions and this time of year is
Oh yeah.
very, very heavy with what we do. Halfway through my day, which was again already a pretty stressful day, I found out that my daughter had to get quarantined, or had to go into quarantine because of a close contact at her school. And so, what ended up happening? We had to stop halfway through the middle of the day, go, had to get all of my equipment from my office, which is, just a couple of monitors. It's nothing too crazy. But I was like, I'm going to be in quarantine for a week because I'll go home and I'll get her, and effectively I'll be, know, have to assume that she's caught it, even though she probably has not, which means I go into quarantine too. And it was so stressful at like 1:30 in the afternoon to have to like stop my whole day, get all of my stuff in the car, and then I took the legwork of like setting us up some tests the weekend. Had to cancel my weekend plans because we were going to go down and visit my family in New Jersey, but we're not going to be out of quarantine until after we get the test results back, which we're not even taking the test until Saturday. So it was just like so stressful that finally at 7:15 I was like, I'm done. My daughter is in bed. I'm going to bed. I slept from 7:15 till 6:30.
We often are like at 8 o'clock on the couch. Like, do you want to go to bed? And it's like, no, we can't even consider this conversation until at least 8:30 because the kid doesn't get to bed till like 7:30. So like you need at least an hour, otherwise like typically you feel like you failed. Like clearly I've gone to bed at 8 o'clock before, but
Mm-hmm.
there are so many nights where I'm like, no, if I go to sleep now, the world wins. And I
No, I've taken that loss. I can't do it. It's just like no matter how much I want to have time for myself in the evening after my daughter goes to bed, I'm like, what's the point? Like I'm not enjoying
it's never
it.
worth
Like
it
I'm just
the next
no, it's
day.
never worth it. And especially because now she's old enough to get herself out of bed and get herself out of her room, and she'll always just come into our room. So now, like last night, I was still up a bunch of times with her just because she'd get up, she needs something to drink. So she'll get up, she'll come into my room, and be like, "Dad, can I get a drink?" And I like have to go with her to get a drink because she's not tall enough to reach the cabinets or anything. Things like that, or she just came into the room in the middle of the night, like 11 o'clock at night, which by this point I'd been asleep for a few hours, to tell me that she had was playing with some of her toys, and I was like, "Okay, that's great.
You do you,
Go back
kiddo.
to sleep." Like you can do whatever you want in your room between 7 o'clock when you go to bed and 6:30 when it's time for you to get up. You can do whatever you want. You don't need to sleep, but I also don't need to hear about it because I want to sleep.
Last night, my son has night terrors occasionally, and he hasn't had one in a
Oh, poor
while.
thing.
Yeah, it's rough because you literally can't do anything for them. He had that and woke us up, and so like there was that whole thing where you try failingly to calm them down, and then like 2 hours later, my wife's cat jumped up on the bed on me, vomited, and then left, and I was just like, I just want to sleep. Like, I just want one decent night of sleep, and it's just so unobtainable.
It's so hard. It's not going to happen until
It's,
our kids are teenagers, I think,
yeah.
and don't want anything to do with us. Like that's what it's going to occur.
My wife wants another kid, and one of my big things against it, I'm like, that's just resetting the clock. I,
It's like I have to start over.
you
We're
mean
already a few years into this.
I'm so close to getting a good night's sleep, so close being like 10 years. You want that to be longer? You want to reset that clock? No. Oh
Um,
my God. No. So that's actually one of my big reasons. I'm like, I'm so tired. I can't imagine starting over. Like I love my kid to death, but I also love sleep. I love sleep so
Yeah.
much.
The added element of her getting up and out of her own room on her own, and again, just waltzing right into my room at all hours of the night, it's now it's it's a little stress inducing because it's like I don't have a we don't have a lock on our bedroom door. We have a tiny apartment. It's just like this is disaster waiting to happen. Like we're mommy and daddy have mommy and daddy time.
Yeah, you need to
What
get one of
like
those
this?
hook and eye locks on your
No, I'm gonna
door.
get a hook.
Yeah. Yeah, I my son got out of his crib for the first
Oh
time.
no,
That was scary.
that's a feat. That's a
Yeah,
feat.
well, we heard screaming over the baby monitor. Like not like his normal I'm up screaming. And we thought he had hurt himself getting out of the crib. But what actually happened is he got out of the crib, fine. Climbed down, fine. Got out of his room, fine. Went to our room, crawled up into our bed. Our bed's high because we've got like storage under it. Went to sleep in our bed and rolled out of it. And that's how he got hurt.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my god, like, 'cause I've been paranoid he's gonna get hurt getting out of the crib. No, he got hurt getting, because he rolled off the bed. Like, he wasn't like hurt, he was just shocked. But like, I walked
Yeah.
upstairs waiting to go to his room where he should be in his crib, and he's like wandering around behind the baby gate looking for us. And I'm like, how are you out here, bud? Like,
Oh my goodness.
and at this point, we're like, we should just upgrade him to like a toddler bed. But I'm too tired for that. Like, he's crawled out of his crib once, but for the most part, it contains him. I don't have the energy. The second he can just get in and out of his bed, life's gonna get so much harder. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't need that thing where I just wake up and he's staring at me next to my bed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need him getting up and coming to us in the middle of the night. Like, I don't want to be in your situation yet. I'm not willing to let go of the crib, even though he has.
I mean, good luck to you. Yeah, I can tell you because it's only been a couple of weeks. But it is really amped up in those last couple of weeks where now it's just like, yep, we're just gonna be there. She's just there sometimes. Uh, she's it's even worse, I think, because again, we're in our second quarantine now within a month because of close contacts. Which means she's not getting out, which means she has a ton of extra energy that like there's just no way that she can burn off in our apartment. Because it's not even like again a few weeks ago, I would just take her running laps in the yard if I needed to. Now it was literally 9 degrees today. We were just the three of us were just in the house together all day. So she just has all this built up energy, and I think that's one of the reasons she'll wake up in the middle of the night and just like start doing stuff. Anyway, we should
Any,
we
we'll
should
get.
move on. I think we're both exhausted. That'll be good dance
That'll be good.
digress.
Dad's digression. COVID
Oh my
update.
goodness.
This Dad's
Really?
digress. We give you a COVID update.
All right. Well, what have you been doing with your free time, Steve? Have you been doing anything with your free time?
So I've been working on setting up a cloud server for over a year now,
Oh,
and I finally got it up and running. I had like enough mental energy to get it up and running, and I bought some new software so I can rip all my DVDs and stuff and put them up in the cloud. So I've
nice.
starting to like get a an online server with like all my horror and stuff in it, and I've also been downloading a lot of horror uh to put into it as well, and just like all my other movies and stuff too. But I'm getting a nice little cloud that I can put up and get like a Plex server going to share and kind of keep that going. So that's been what I've been doing with my adult time. We also got a big box of free kids books.
Oh,
On
that's
like
fun.
we were on like a free town page where people were just like you're getting rid of stuff, and a lot of it was a little too old for my son, but there was a lot. of spooky books in there. So I've kind of been going through and cataloging that, and I've been getting excited about that.
Oh, that's nice. I recently purchased Resident Evil 4, which I had never played.
Oh
I
man,
was
the
really,
remake's coming out soon.
you know, I'm like, I've never played the original version. I was worried that I was like, oh, if I wait for the remake and then the remake is going to be like way too modern and hard for me. But I was like, yeah, I want that version that came out in like 2005. I'm looking at it. Yeah, it came out in 2005. So this is like a 16-year-old game that it first came out. I think I was like, yeah, I'll wait until I get like a used copy or something, or it'll be on sale eventually. And then I just waited a decade and a half to purchase it. Um, yeah, so I've been playing that. It's good.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it was a
you know,
good
there's a
one.
reason they're still porting it after 16 years. That it just got ported to Switch.
I'm angry it's getting remade. Not in general, just right now, because they remade 2 and 3. And then
Hmm.
there's actually a game between 3 and 4 that's a sequel to part 2 called Code Veronica.
Oh yeah, I played a lot of Code Veronica.
Yeah, I love Code Veronica. It's a really good game and it's got a good plot. And they just skipped it and they went straight to 4. But there's a fan made version of Code Veronica coming out this year. A trailer just dropped for it like yesterday. And they're using the engine that they used to make 2 and 3, the
Hmm.
remakes for. So it looks like the remakes for 2 and 3, and it plays like the remakes, but they completely, scene for scene, remade Code Veronica over the last 4 years. And it's just going to be free to download. So I'm very excited about that because I was genuinely annoyed that they skipped it because that was the one that I played the most.
Yeah, I played probably two the most. I played one a few. Yeah, I played one, played three. I played Code Veronica, but I really played a lot of Resident Evil 2. So I don't know why I waited so long to pick up Resident Evil 4.
I mean, it was the first one in the new format. I was hesitant for a while because I played
Yeah.
like all the original Resident Evil games. Like, I played like the first person shooter one. I played the ones where they were like side stories, and you had like little missions where you played like civilians trying to escape situations and
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
like I was really into it, and I was not happy when they moved to the Part 4 format. And Part 4 was a great game, and I
More
liked it.
action oriented.
Yeah, more action oriented. I had those games, you know what I mean? I didn't want them to take away my survival horror thing. But yeah, no, 4 was good. I was considering replaying it, but with the remake coming out, I'll probably just wait for that.
Right. Well, I'm gonna go play some Resident Evil 4 before I pass out.
Nice, that'll give you the good dreams.